Dr. Rice talked about this on one of his videos, and I encourage people to go and watch it. But what you don't understand that's going on right now is that states are passing laws extending the statute of limitations for victims of sexual violence. Right after they passed this law in Washington State, 427 lawsuits was filed for sexual abuse victims on the first day. And this has been passed, I think, in about 29 states. They have similar bills. So what does that tell you? When they remove the statute of limitations, what is going to happen is people are going to be popping up left and right claiming they were sexually assaulted. So men all across this country are going to be sitting ducks. Do your homework. Figure out which states have passed a law similar to this. Democratic states. Stop fucking voting for people that are responsible for your downfall, for the downfall of your icons. This is only a matter of time before it hits some of us who have sons, who have fathers, who have uncles, who have brothers, because it's going to trickle down. But they're quietly behind the scenes passing these laws so that somebody can come back and sue you civilly for sexual assault and charge you criminally. Removing the statute of limitations. So it doesn't matter. You could be a 70-year-old man and somebody can say you did something to them. We have to change the tide of what's going on, and you do that by who you vote for. And if you continue to vote for people that are creating and passing laws like that, then you can't complain because you voted for the situation. Malcolm X once said, the Democrats are playing you for a political chump, and if you vote for them, you're not only a chump, you're a traitor to your race. He was killed 2 days after he said this. Very, very smart man. No one should have an allegiance to any political party. You should vote your positions and your policies and your situation.
They need to verify Mr. Kelly's address and phone number.
Right, that they talked to him about that this morning.
Right.
Someone is getting his driver's license and bringing it back to court this morning. So they can do that.
Because apparently they can't send him materials because apparently they're coming back. So that has to be done today.
Overnight, R&B star R. Kelly arrested in Chicago on federal sex crime charges. 2 law enforcement sources tell NBC News. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Chicago telling USA Today a federal grand jury has indicted Kelly on 13 counts, including child pornography, enticement of a minor, and obstruction of justice.
I believe I can fly.
The 52-year-old singer, known for hits like I Believe I Can Fly and Ignition, was arrested while walking his dog near his home.
Dissemination. Noun. The act of disseminating, or the state of being disseminated, diffusion for propagation and permanence, a scattering or spreading abroad, as of ideas, beliefs, etc. Reference.
I don't know if the state is ever going to do anything about the dissemination that was done before these charges with their witnesses.
I don't care about what happened before. What I'm saying, as long as this case is in front of me, this order is going to be abided by. And I'm sure, I just want to make that clear. If there's any violation of this protective order, I'm going to impose sanctions, severe sanctions, okay? I just want everybody on notice with that.
I'm not sure if any of you have heard about the United Nations Agenda 21. But I think it's definitely interesting, and it's something that everybody should be aware of because it has something to do with everybody that's here on Earth, basically.
Oh, yeah.
It has a lot to do with our freedom as we know it today.
Yeah.
Goal number 1. To end poverty in all its forms everywhere. The only answer the plan offers for eliminating poverty is redistribution of wealth. The document calls for equal rights to economic resources. That means government is claiming an absolute power to take away anything that belongs to you and give it to whomever it deems more deserving.
By law.
That is government sanctioned theft.
What?
That's what that is. These are only band-aids that solve nothing. Tomorrow, those in the bread lines are going to still need more bread.
Or they may be in the line for casket line and they're buying black clothes. You know what I'm saying? They won't even exist no more because they just trickle down.
In this plan, there is not a single idea to give the poor a way to earn more and to earn their own wealth.
Yeah.
So they no longer need government assistance.
Right.
The final result will be a never-ending cycle of poverty that will consume the middle class, and it will only get worse.
Yeah, just make two sorts of classes, kind of like in Egyptian days. There will only be the elite, and there will be servants. You know, that's pretty much what this
exactly
the doctrine is going towards. You know, and we haven't even gotten to the depopulation.
Basically saying it's basically saying there's no more room for three classes.
No.
There's no more room for the poor. Really, no more room for the middle class.
Middle class, they really want to eliminate them too. You know, they look down on anybody that is not on the class that they're at or have accumulated the wealth of hundreds and hundreds of years that they feel that they've obtained by being so smart, which, you know, we'll get to that.
The 21 in Agenda 21 refers to the 21st century. It has been affirmed and had a few modifications at subsequent UN conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Its aim is achieving global sustainable development.
Okay.
One major objective of the Agenda 21 initiative is that every local government should draw its own local Agenda 21. Now, at first, I was asking myself, what does this necessarily mean?
Yeah.
Does this mean that they're allowed to add in any law that they want to, when they want to?
Yeah.
Because that's basically what it sounds like to me. You know,
amendments, you know what I'm saying? Amendments, yeah.
Right, so, but we'll get back to that later. You know what I'm saying? Now, in 1992, they called it Agenda 21 when they had the first initial summit in Rio. But recently, it has been changed and rebooted and named Agenda 2030.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted, though. It's still the same thing.
Yeah, exact same thing.
They kind of they just modified it. And, so...
For 2030 to be, you know...
For 2030.
To be...
And the reason why they did this is because they expect this plan to be fully operational by 2030.
Yeah.
Here's what it says in an article that was written by the author's name, Nancy J. Thorner. She's a writer, she's a cellist, and a Tea Party activist based in suburban Chicago. So this is what was written about the Agenda 21.
Talk to him.
It was to be implemented worldwide in order to inventory and control all land, all water, all minerals, all plants, all animals, all construction, all means of production, all energy, all education, all information, and all human beings in the world.
Man.
All human beings in the world, bro.
That's natural resources, baby.
And as such, Agenda 21 marked a new beginning for the UN, a decisive point of departure for the World Organization. So, after reading this, to me it seems like it's pretty clear and obvious on what the agenda is.
Yeah.
It's really not too different from the agenda now, to control everything and everybody. Although it's laws put in place to make us think or have the illusion that we have this freedom of speech or that we have equal rights, as we know that today, that's not true.
It's giving rights for us, yeah.
Especially for minorities.
Oh yeah, you know, it's been clear. We know that all.
We know that all too well.
It's just funny though, Leatherface. It's funny now that some of the people who aren't minorities are just figuring out that some of their rights are going to be infringed on.
All human beings in the world, bro.
That's natural resources, baby.
And as such, Agenda 21 marked a new beginning for the UN a decisive point of departure for the World Organization. Getting right to it, the United Nations Agenda 21 plans, first and foremost, are very intrusive, and it could eventually affect every aspect of our lives.
Yes.
Some people even compare this plan to being communistic.
Yeah.
If you know what communism is, that's not good. And after reading a few articles that was written on the issue, you know, they're saying that this Green New Deal happens to represent the boldest tactic ever toward the full implementation of Agenda 21 in this nation, in America. So, meaning it's already going down.
That's real, G.
Is this what we're going to be talking about is already happening? It's already in mode.
Full motion.
The process has began. You know what I'm saying? And what's even crazy is a lot of people don't even know about it.
Nah, a lot of distractions in this earth.
But how are you going to do this?
Yeah.
How? Like, you're talking about the plan, but how are you going to execute the plan? So, it says, what is the purpose of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals? The Sustainable Development Goals are the blueprints to achieve a better and a more sustainable future for all. They address the global challenges we face, including those related to poverty, inequality, climate, environmental degradation, prosperity, and peace and justice. Sustainable development has been defined in many ways, but the most frequently quoted definition is from our Common Future, also known as the Brundtland Report.
Okay.
Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. You know what I'm saying? And it says, how do they achieve sustainable developments? 1, to eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. 2, to achieve universal primary education. 3, to promote gender equality. 4, to reduce child mortality. 5, to improve maternal health. 6, to combat HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases. 7, to ensure environmental sustainability. 8, to develop a global partnership for development.
Wow.
Now, after reading about this deal or this plan, when I was researching Agenda 21, it was very vague to me. Because, yes, you're saying you're going to do all these things, you know, eradicate things and make some things better. But, you know, they're just talking about the plan. Like I just said, they didn't say anything about the execution.
Yeah.
How we were going to be executed and what steps would be taken to bring these things about, because what we really should, and because that's what we really should be worried about.
Oh, yeah.
What we really should be worried about is how they're going to do this. That's why it was so vague, I'm guessing, when I first read it, and that's why I had to do more research.
What they do in face is infringing on the Constitution that they came up with, the human rights laws and things like that. Those amendments, what we're talking about, will supersede some of these laws. One guy quoted this thing as being the new 10 Commandments. You know what I'm saying? For people to follow.
For humans.
Yeah. For human beings to follow, you know, because they're going to implicate these laws in, kind of like martial law. When things get so bad, they can make martial law, and that supersedes human rights to a point. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same kind of boat. They just, you know, same boat they driving in, bro.
So let's get into these. I want to get into these 17 goals for sustainable development that they have.
Okay.
Because it's 17 of them, so I'm going to read through them, and then, you know, we could break them down as we go. But it's really no need to break them down. They're being broken down. This is the meaning of them.
Number 1.
Goal number 1. To end poverty in all its forms everywhere. The only answer the plan offers for eliminating poverty is redistribution of wealth. The document calls for equal rights to economic resources. That means government is claiming an absolute power to take away anything that belongs to you and give it to whomever it deems more deserving.
By law.
That is government sanctioned theft.
What?
That's what that is. These are only band-aids that solve nothing. Tomorrow, those in the bread lines are going to still need more bread.
Or they may be in the line for casket line and they're buying black clothes. You know what I'm saying? They won't even exist no more because it just trickle down.
In this plan, there is not a single idea to give the poor a way to earn more and to earn their own wealth.
Yeah.
So they no longer need government assistance. The final result will be a never-ending cycle of poverty that will consume the middle class, and it will only get worse.
Yeah, just make two sorts of classes, kind of like in Egyptian days. There will only be the elite, and there will be servants. You know, that's pretty much what this
exactly
the doctrine is going towards. You know, and we haven't even gotten to the depopulation.
Basically saying it's basically saying there's no more room for three classes.
No.
There's no more room for the poor. Really, no more room for the middle class.
Middle class, they really want to eliminate them too. You know.